Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we have the latest on the spread of COVID-19 here in the Commonwealth as we hit more than 1,000 cases. And while Kentuckians are social distancing to slow the spread of the coronavirus, new reports show that we may also be reducing the spread of another common illness. And we'll show you how businesses that focus on tourism are getting creative to stay in operation during this pandemic.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5 o'clock on Tuesday, April the 7th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. We are doing today's show yet again from my living room, but Brandon is back in studio, so let's send it out to him quickly as we are expecting somewhat.
I believe we lost his shot there for a second, but Will is right. He was getting ready to say somewhat of a active day. Not today so much. The thing models have backed off just a little bit there as we head into the daytime hours. Let's take a look and see what's going on this morning on live pinpoint Doppler radar just after 5 o'clock, and you'll see a little green showing up, but that's a ground clutter, not actually reaching the ground this morning. As we continue to track that, we'll see temperatures anywhere from the 40s to the 60s, so a wide range there on temperatures. 52 London and Somerset, 61 Jackson and Hazard, 49 in Harlan and Middlesboro, 55 in Wise, 58 in Pikeville, 59 in Prestonsburg. And as we look at our wind speeds, they're cranking in out of the southwest as we go through the daytime hours today. So that means we're going to see some very warm air heading through the first part of your day. They're out the door forecast. We are going to see conditions start to warm up quickly. I do think most of us stay dry today. Can't rule out some pop-up showers and storms, but again, I think our main risk now is being pushed back into the overnight hours tonight. We'll talk more about it coming up here in just a little bit. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. That was a power flash here. Hope that doesn't happen again, but hey, we're going to have to roll with the punches. Well, Kentucky hit more than 1,000 cases last night, one on the 1-month anniversary since the first one here in the Commonwealth. That is the news from Governor Andy Beshear as he announced 54 new cases here in the Bluegrass. The toughest news he shared as he became emotional, 14 new deaths linked to COVID-19, bringing the total to 59. Governor Andy Beshear says officials are moving forward with plans to open state parks where some can go to self-quarantine. Specifically, cabins will be open to first responders. Now, here is a look at our latest county-by-county tracker here in Kentucky. As you can see, there are now confirmed cases in the majority of Kentucky counties. The health department in Laurel County confirmed their 5th case. Knox, Whitley, and Morgan counties also announced their first cases yesterday. We have learned the case out of Knox County is a Barbourville police officer. Officials also tell us Mayor David Thompson and 6 police officers are now self-quarantined. That police officer last worked a shift on March 30th and since has been recovering at home. They are working to find anyone the officer might have come into close contact with.
But right now it's kind of tough for the department. You know, we're all family here. We all love each other and care about each other. We'll do anything for anybody. You know, there's a personal level to this and a professional level. We have to keep on protecting and serving our community.
Its first case, the Knox County Health Department continued to stress the importance again of following CDC guidelines to prevent any possible exposure. Well, as we all do our own part to help slow the spread of COVID-19, practices like social distancing could be helping the battle against another illness, the flu. For the 3rd week in a row, flu numbers went down in the Commonwealth, the same period of time that social distancing has been at the forefront of people's minds.
I think we're probably seeing some impact of the social distancing, but also this is the time of year where we see it tail off anyway. But the thing to throw in there as well is that we're testing a ton more right now than we typically do. With the hand hygiene, the social distancing, all of that stuff will impact other infections on top of just coronavirus.
Dr. Stanton says the data shows that Kentucky is flattening the curve, especially compared to states like New York, but people need to continue to follow these steps in order to continue the progress. Now, as more people wear personal protective equipment or PPE like gloves and masks, these items may not be as beneficial as we think they are if we do not use them correctly. Some are wearing them while continually touching their face and multiple surfaces with the same pair of gloves. Scott Lockard with the Kentucky River District Health Department says disposing PPE incorrectly can also endanger others.
And creating trash which may be contaminated with germs, and for individuals who wore these gloves on the inside, they've sweated, and so this creates another hazard for individuals that come in contact with these.
You should also remove your gloves correctly so you do not spread germs, and wash your hands before and after you use gloves. Shaping Our Appalachian Region, or SOAR, is working with Food City to help ease the burden on healthcare workers during this time. SOAR has called for local people to make cloth face masks, which can then be donated to any Food City store in eastern Kentucky, where they will be picked up by local health department officials. Executive Director Jared Arnett says the organization felt led to use its partnerships to be a light for those in need during the pandemic.
I've told our team several times, we were really made for a moment like this. We have relationships with all these partners from the economic and the health side, and we see both of those areas getting hit so hard right now.
SOAR is also providing mask patterns to make sure donated masks meet CDC requirements. A Gatlin-based moonshine and whiskey producer donated 10 gallons of hand sanitizer to ambulance crews. The sanitizer Sugarlands Distilling Company makes is set to the standards approved by the FDA and the World Health Organization. The donated sanitizer went to Priority Ambulance, who employ more than 500 EMTs and paramedics. The first responders say it sterilizes their hands when antibacterial soap and water is unavailable in the field. Kentucky businesses that depend desperately on tourism are having to be a lot more creative as of late. Tourism officials have shifted their focus from attracting travelers to finding ways to help local businesses. One way some are doing that is by marketing hotels as telework locations, since many people cannot work from their home or need to be more isolated due to exposure at their jobs. We'll have more on how this is working in our region in our 6 o'clock hour right here on Mountain News This Morning. Well, thank you for getting your day started with us right here on Mountain News This Morning. Coming up, we head over to Whitley County, where firefighters say the owner of one local restaurant lost nearly everything inside after a fire.
And the forecast for the next couple of days is a complicated one. I'll break it down for you hour by hour in about 3 minutes.